Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Piper, and I am a Global Channel Executive with ProZest Technology. And today we're going to talk about using spectroscopy to shed some light on manufacturing processes with the Reveal. But before we do that, we'd like to go into a brief background of our organization. We were founded in 1999, and we're based here in St. Louis, Missouri. And we actually started out a company that built customized application probes or hardware to help introduce the light to the process stream. Our original founder had ties to big pharma, and they came to her wanting, superior ways to introduce this light. And as a result of that venture, we began building our own instrumentation as well as software to provide a complete turnkey spectroscopic solution. And since we've been around, we have now 20 of the top 25 global pharmaceutical companies using our systems employed around the world. So as far as technical background, spectroscopy's been around 150 years. So it's nothing new. We've just taken it and really have advanced the science. But before we go into that, we're going to talk about a few benefits. Why measure with light? Well, compared to conventional analytical methods like HPLC, this modality is non-destructive. So we are merely looking at the process stream. It is also extremely fast. Our feedback is literally measured in milliseconds. It is also, compared to other methods, extremely low maintenance. There's no reagents that have to be purchased on a monthly basis or nor maintenance that's required with the actual instrumentation, other than replacing a light source approximately every 1,500 to 2,000 hours. But even though it is simple, it is still extremely accurate and precise. And last but not least, there's very minimal cost associated with utilizing one of our systems. So how the science works, we're in essence, looking at, the vibration between molecules. And we're doing this on a molecular level. That's what enables us to look at liquids, solids, and gases in real time. And what we do is we utilize a specific range of light to shine through the process stream. And then we are actually looking to collect back the light that does not get absorbed by these molecules, because that in essence gives us an inverse spectral fingerprint of what is occurring. And this is what enables us to actually provide real-time inline results. But that's just the beginning, because then we take the squiggly lines that a spectroscopy instrument gives you, and then we convert those into actual values that mean something to the process. This is just giving you an evolution of our organization. As I mentioned before, we started out working with big pharma, building bespoke systems that literally took months to manufacture. And these had price points literally in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we realized if we were going to grow and branch out into other vertical markets, that we would have to standardize and create more of a modular platform. And this is really how we got there. And today, I'm proud to introduce our Reveal platform. So what you're looking at is our Reveal. This is literally the size of a shoebox, which weighs approximately 13 pounds. But don't let the small size fool you. This is an extremely for-process ready instrument that was built from the ground up for process. And one of the best evidence of this is the fact that our systems has an IP65 rating, and this system can be used in a bunch of different hazardous areas. This is kind of giving you a peek at what's underneath the hood. As far as what enabled us to get down to that modular platform, this is us recognizing all the internal components that are used. And the one I like to point out at is the application science seen on the bottom left-hand corner of the slide. But that's one of the distinguishing features of our organization, is the fact that in addition to hardware, we actually build in software and application science that in essence turns a spectrometer into an actual sensor. So just to summarize at this point, we've been able to, modulize our systems, and we've called it the Reveal platform. This, in essence, has taken build times that used to take months into now minutes. And we've gotten price points down around the same cost as a photometer. As far as our comms are concerned, we have Ethernet IP as one of our communication protocols, in addition to Modbus and OPC. And then we also build software, and we have customized software based on our customer. If it's a customer that has their own process analytical team, we have a NovaPack software, which I'll go into further later. And then we also have Reveal web interface for a lot of food and beverage customers who, in essence, want a system that's treated like a sensor. And last but not least, it's a win-win proposition because we've improved our platform, but at the same time reduced our price point. Because we started from the ground up for a process-ready instrument, unlike other companies that take a lab instrument and repurpose it for process, we can truly operate in all the environments you're looking at, whether it's a continuous or batch environment or even outdoor. We have systems employed throughout the world, whether it's in the Chinese jungles that are in purged enclosures to different hazardous areas throughout the world, and we have all the appropriate ratings as well. So what I'm going to share with you now is just a hallmark application of ours. It's personally one of my favorite to go over just because it's a microcosm of why I feel we're unique and we can bring a lot of value to your end users. This particular customer, like a lot of customers, had a lot of challenges determining when their product's 100% homogeneous. And what they do is they typically layer ingredients. And with this being a pharmaceutical customer, they were using a lot of excipients and active pharmaceutical ingredients. But they never knew truly when their product was 100% blended. So the fact that this was a V blender, the size of an average room that was tumbling end over end, it represents a lot of challenges for other analytical companies to provide a full turnkey solution. We were able to do that just because, for one, we were able to mount a system on top of the V blender. If you look closely, you'll notice our system. But we also put 2 hot swappable batteries on the side of the system, which enables us to basically mount a battery-powered instrument to get rid of any dedicated lines that would cause a problem with this tumbling end over end. And we also were able to weld in a glass sapphire window on the blender lid, which enabled us to look at the actual powder that's tumbling end over end. And knowing it's tumbling end over end and it won't be in front of the glass window 100% of the time, we utilize an accelerometer to tell the instrument to only take precise triggered measurements. And the next slide you'll see is kind of a cartoon what's going on behind the scenes. And this is literally happening in milliseconds. So first and foremost, we're taking triggered measurements at the side of the blender. And we're taking this information, and then internally inside the instrument, we're sending this over to be pre-processed, and then in essence converting squiggly lines into actual real-time values that we built the models for to convert this with chemometrics. And last but not least, we take this data that's relevant to your process, and then we send it directly to your PLC, but can also simultaneously send it out to your personal handheld device so that you can look at results in real time. So as I alluded to earlier, we have 2 different software packages. Our NovaPack was intended for the customer, like with big pharma or big chemical companies, where they have their own PAT expertise. They typically want a malleable software that they can build their own models if they change in 2 months. In this case, NovaPack's excellent for this because they can change it on their own and will always be there to help assist them if needed. Whereas our Reveal web interface is a software that's intended, in essence, to treat our Reveal platform as a sensor. These are typically customers who do not have internal PAT expertise, where they simply want a sensor in their process. That's where we'll build all the chemometrics and software in-house and then ship the system ready to use. Just an example of our PAT software features, and keep in mind you would simply need a Windows PC to access these control features, but we enable customers with the NovaPack to manipulate the data and to chart different trends and to keep historical records of what's going on in real time. However, with our web interface or Reveal software, this is actually a software that our customers can access from either their own phone or an iPad or a personal portable device and there's no need for external software or PC because our system actually emits a Wi-Fi that you will connect to from your portable device. And then you can actually look at the results in real time as you're walking throughout the plant, or you could literally be halfway around the world and still get real-time results. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Brian, who will talk to you a little further about our simplified connectivity.
Thank you again. My name is Brian Morfing. Just want to kind of go over basically some of our connectivity options. Just to let you know, the Reveal unit itself gives off its own separate Wi-Fi signal that's encrypted. This allows you to use the web access portal via any smart device or PC. It makes it very simple. And from there, we can show you that we have the ability to connect Modbus, OPC, Ethernet, and the nice part is it can be wired and or wireless. We are the only Encompass partner that has a wireless option with Rockwell. So again, what's nice about this is the encryption of it, the availability to connect in different ways, and then to add on to that even more importantly, the 4 to 20 milliamp, we can also add that as an output to help you guys close the loop in certain situations where that makes sense. And Chris is going to go over some customer solutions that we've had.
Thank you, Brian. And as Brian mentioned, I'm going to share with you a few examples where we've helped customers in the past, and a lot of this will be relevant to your prospects. The first customer of ours is a contract pharmaceutical manufacturer by the name of PMRS. And like a lot of contract pharmaceutical manufacturers, the holy grail for them is to get as close to real-time product release as possible. And the biggest bottleneck affecting them from realizing this goal of theirs was literally having warehouses full of product being held up, sitting there upwards of 3 to 4 weeks, simply because they were waiting for results back from the lab. So they came to us wanting us to help them with real-time blend monitoring for their active pharmaceutical ingredients, while simultaneously looking for a low concentration and content uniformity overall. And by looking at this application, we were able to employ three different systems for them. One was our Reveal near infrared with the measuring head, which was similar to the application I shared with you earlier that we employed onto the blender, while we simultaneously utilized a light-induced fluorescence system with measuring head to look at the low API. And lastly, we utilized a near-infrared system that was used in a high-temperature pressure situation. And ultimately, we were enable them to get as close to real-time product release as possible. And that bottom line equals money. And so the ROI was very clear and obtainable, and we increased their profitability dramatically. So this next customer of ours is a pet food manufacturer, and moisture, like blend uniformity, is a ubiquitous application that a lot of vertical markets, or I should say customers in different verticals will need. Because this is a serious challenge of a lot of manufacturers, is determining real-time moisture, because moisture will affect not only product stability, but a bunch of other attributes about their end product. And in this particular case, incorrect moisture was preventing them from having effective pelleting during the pelleting process, as well as their product stability. And they actually were researching an analytical method for 5 years to implement this, and then they found us. And we were able to employ a near-infrared system along with a reflectance probe that took advantage of the fact that we're Ethernet IP capable. So we actually provided this information and talked directly to their PLC. Whereas this next customer is basically almost any pharmaceutical company that we've done business with over the years. They're typically looking at this continuous measurement of content uniformity while simultaneously looking at extremely low concentration of APIs. We recognize that the LIF system we have was the right system for the job, because not only could it look at the low concentration of API, but it could also simultaneously look at the continuous measurement. And again, by getting this information in real time, we increased their throughput and profitability while ensuring that they were compliant with FDA guidelines. This next application, again, involves an animal feed company, Land O'Lakes, which is, or I should say Purina, which is a division of Land O'Lakes. And again, they were having a challenge understanding their moisture, realizing that this moisture level in finished product would determine the feed dose. They wanted to get this spec as close as possible. And they actually investigated 4 previous technical approaches to give them the specs they were looking for, and they all failed. So it's worth noting that when we employed our near-infrared system to look at their moisture in real time, we actually delivered a system that gave them 4 times better accuracy than what they were even requesting. And we actually employed these measurements throughout 3 different product formulations. Now this next application, cleaning validation, is also a very ubiquitous application. And you'll notice 4 different pharmaceutical companies up there, but this could extend to almost any pharmaceutical company we've done business with. And cleaning validation is a real challenge for not only pharmaceutical companies, but a lot of chemical companies and food and beverage companies, because typically they'll reutilize a large vessel for new manufacturing processes. But the last thing they want to do is experience cross-contamination, where they have contaminants from an old process in the new process. So it was very important for them to come up with a cleaning protocol that would ensure that stainless steel vessel was clean 100% of the time. Well, before they looked at actual chemistry in real time, they would build in these large time buffers to ensure that once they got done rinsing that vessel with water and solvent, it was 100% certain it was clean. Well, these buffers sometimes took hours, in terms of 5, 6, 7 hours. So what we were able to do quickly with a UV system was dramatically reduce these time buffers down from hours literally to minutes. And as a result, cleared up these vessels for more production, which means money. And in terms of ROI, we saved one particular customer 1,000 kilograms of cleaning solvent per year, and this equated into a monetary value of $4 million a year. And this doesn't even speak of the water savings and the energy savings. So now I was just going to share just some applications. This list is certainly not limited to what we do. This is, in essence, scratching the surface. But blend uniformity, as I mentioned earlier, cleaning validation, as well as moisture, are some of the most common applications we deal with. But you'll see that there's a bunch of other applications on this list. And but I don't think we'll ever stop adding to this list, because we can come up with solutions as unique as our customers' process. So in summary, we've done a few things. One, we've dramatically reduced our build times and pricing just because we have a standardized platform. 2, we have all the industrial protocols that enable us to talk to PLCs in real time, all as well as simplified connectivity. And we also have built, different software packages for different end users. And, at this point, we're very proud to get the opportunity to work with you and identify new applications with your customers. Lastly, for more information, you can reach Christopher Piper, who covers Central and Eastern United States and Europe. and my contact information is on the screen. And then my counterpart in the West, who covers Western North America as well as Asia Pacific, his contact information, Brian Lorfing, is also on the screen. Thanks for your time today, and we look forward to working with you.